Hi everyone, meteorologist Chad Evans here with a look at your daily weather forecast video, sponsored always by Trent Johnson State Farm. TrentIsMyAgent.com. Big thanks to him, big thanks to you, big thanks to all of our other sponsors as well. We've got a loaded plate of weather for you today. We're going to dig in for the next several weeks regarding big changes in the forecast. Now, really since mid-November, the trend has been, okay, we had the snow and the cold, then we had sudden near record warmth, then it got cold and really snowy. Some of the coldest, snowiest weather since around 2000, and in some respects the late 1970s. Then it got milder towards Christmas as expected. We had that surge of near record warmth after Christmas with the severe weather. But since that time, it's been relatively mild. It's not been terrible. Temperatures have averaged overall above normal. And now we've got another surge, albeit brief, of near, if not record, warmth coming in tonight and early tomorrow morning with some severe weather risk once again. And that isolated severe weather risk is between 11 p.m. and 4 a.m. tonight. And some good soaking rainfall coming back in here as well. Now the thing is, after this, eventually it will get much colder. It's going to get colder on Sunday first, then it gets warmer again, and then we see it get quite a bit colder next week, and then it really falls off. What's driving the sudden warmth? Well, it depends. When we look back at the Madden-Julian oscillation, which dictates our weather a lot, anytime you see the line go way out here, that means the Madden-Julian oscillation is strong and it controls our weather more and more. It's a more dominant player on the weather team during the winter. But it's been neutral. So it's really not been the Madden-Julian oscillation that was driving the warmth after Christmas. It appears to be driven by these atmospheric rivers hitting California and the warm Pacific. So it's the WPO, the PNA, and something called the PJ, the Pacific Japan pattern. And they've all been warm and wet. And they've been trying to drive our weather. And that was one aspect of the winter forecast. You know, it gets really cold. It's really cold and snowy early December, late November. We're milder, we're foggy, we're rainy towards Christmas, maybe even some thunder and lightning. And we're milder in early January, and then we tank after the midpoint of January in two cold waves. Now, it's still neutral, even though we're going to have near record, if not record warmth tonight. If you look, it's going to get very strong into phase 6. You know, the Madden-Julian oscillation, what this is we're looking at the Indian Ocean and the western equatorial Pacific, and that dictates our weather a lot. So when we are getting really cold here, you'll notice we're in a phase 6, which is the warmest MJO phase. Phase 6 normally brings us really warm weather, oftentimes record warmth. So you might say, okay, then we're not going to get cold, right? Thing is, this shows you how strong the cold is. Because the cold, the other teleconnections governing our weather, like the NAO, the AO, stratospheric warming, things like that, the TNH, they are trying to overpower this warm MJO. So they will overpower it somewhat. It's still going to get quite cold around here. Now, it may not get down to 20 below zero, but I still think we're going to get to below zero, even in a phase 6 MJO. And the thing is, the second round of cold we get in late January, early February, we're going to be like in a phase 7 and 8. Phase 7 and 8, those are cold phases of the MJO. So my thinking is the second round of cold we get will be colder than the first round because we will be in colder MJO phases than the first bout of cold weather. So I like to throw little bits of insight as to what I'm thinking. I don't throw it out there every day because it bogs down the weather story and can muddy it up. But I like to kind of give you ideas of, okay, what am I thinking? How am I coming up with this? What am I doing? Sort of thing. Now today we've been clouding up, but this is all Virgo. This is not reaching the ground, what you see here, but this is this little arc of rain approaching out of central and east central Illinois. So this arc of rain will come through. That'll moisten the atmosphere. Then we get a few showers. Then we watch for heavier rain and storms coming in tonight. There's that arc of rain now approaching Champaign and Bloomington, Illinois, moving to the northeast. So we're going to get this little arc of rain. Here's our forecast area. We'll get this little arc of rain this afternoon. Then it diminishes, maybe just a couple showers, and then this will race northeastward and bring us the rainfall tonight. So to get our bearings straight, southwest Indiana, Illinois, Missouri, here's Arkansas, and these are severe thunderstorm and tornado warnings out here. A little QLCS squall line, a cool season severe squall line racing northeastward. Temperatures are already on the rise. We're 55 at the Purdue Airport, 59 at Cayuga and Covington, 57 Grissom Air Reserve Base. You might wonder why Monon is 57, but it's 54 Lebanon. Well, there's some pockets of sun that's driving the temperature up. Now, you can see that at Logansport, we are getting some filtered sun here, where it's 55 at the airport. But at Swanington in Benton County, it's pretty solid overcast. So that's why it's 54 currently at Fowler. The temperatures will be on the rise this evening and tonight. As a matter of fact, tonight, early tomorrow morning, forecasting a high temperature of 62 degrees. Now, the record high for today up to midnight is 63 set in 2008. We're not going to break that, but we'll be close. We could break the record high set way back in 1880, believe it or not. For tomorrow, we could hit 62 degrees after midnight, and that would break the record of 61 set way back in 1880. And actually, January of 1880 is still the warmest January on record for Greater Lafayette. There's the marginal risk of severe weather, forecast area wide. Can't rule out an isolated brief EF0 spin up overnight, and can't rule out a few isolated severe wind gusts either, as this little line of storms races through the area. That is a 1 out of 5 on the scale. We've got just enough buoyancy or instability with the shear and the lift and the forcing to bring about that marginal risk of severe. So this is a look at what the model says the radar is going to look like from this afternoon right through 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. So for the next several hours, it's going to be what? That little arc of rain coming in. So watch right here. Here comes that little wave of rain, then just a few showers. But look at this right there. That's your line of storms that comes through tonight. Now, it's probably a situation where it's just a line of heavy rain and a few isolated bouts of thunder and lightning with it, but still the marginal risk, like we showed you, for severe. That goes through, the rain tapers off, but then the actual cold front won't pass until tomorrow morning after the sun rises. So there goes the line of storms, break. This is the actual cold front that comes through. So we'll hit our high early tomorrow. Then the temperature will fall during the day. There could be a few bits of sun initially, and then we're kind of overcast, breezy to windy, and kind of gray and colder during the afternoon hours. And then we watch the second wave of rain. Now the change today is that the modeling wants to forecast the heavier rain and the low pressure track more down here than up through here. So that said, yes, I'm going to keep rain in the forecast for Friday night and into Saturday morning. But the heavier rain should stay southeast of our area, and there'll be severe weather down here as well. Then we get a few snow showers Saturday evening, Saturday night, and into Sunday. If there's any accumulation at all, it would be just a few local light dustings, and that would be it. But there's going to be a lot of wind, and it's certainly going to be colder. Rainfall-wise, so this makes sense. I think that the southern counties, the southern and southeast counties, I would trim the rainfall just a little bit. If we're going to see an inch of rain, the best chance of getting an inch of rain is going to be the northwest. Now, the rest of the area, a lot of places will get more than a half an inch. It'll be a half an inch, 6/10, something like that, 6/500ths. Now, if you live from, let's say, south of Lebanon area itself, New Ross over to Tipton, maybe southeast of Michigan town, Niceville, down toward the Billy Creek Village area here in Park County, that area may see a little bit less than a half an inch of rainfall. Then we look at next week, because next week is a transition kind of week. So we've got one clipper that comes through midweek that could bring a few rain and then a few snow showers. Another clipper follows with some scattered snow showers. That could bring a little minor accumulation to the area, very minor accumulation. And some colder air will start to come in. Then we watch what will be happening down in Texas. So the Arctic front comes in. Here comes a storm out of Texas, and we got to watch that because you can see the ice and then you can see the snow right here in our area. So that's something to watch after the 17th with the cold coming in and a storm coming out of Texas. Now, again, it will get much colder. We can see that cold coming right here, the blues and the purples. 20 below zero, much less likely now with this first round. Could we get a little below zero if we get a snowpack? Absolutely, we could do that. We got a better shot at getting colder with the second round of cold. And with that second round of cold, we may very well have a similar situation to this. We may have another round of snow, and then this cold could really come in very end of January and early February, because remember, we're going to be in a cold MJO, and the other teleconnections also favor cold too. And again, we could have a winter weather event with ice and snow as that cold comes in as well. So winter is not over by any means at all. We got plenty of winter to get through. But spring like tonight, 62 degrees by midnight, and even after the storms pass, the heavier rain and any storms pass, it's still 62 at 7 o'clock in the morning ahead of the actual cold front. So here's your storminess here, right in this zone. Remember, 11 p.m. to 4 a.m., and then a few showers in the morning. A lot of wind, one surge of wind ahead of the storms. Winds gusting 36 to 48 part of the night. Then they relax behind the line, and then they pick back up early tomorrow morning around 7 with gusts 36 to 48. But very warm. It'll be very warm when the kids are headed off to school in the morning. Then the actual front goes through. It's still breezy to windy in the afternoon, but not as windy as the morning hours. And a few showers give way to maybe a little sun trying to poke out, and then eventually it just goes overcast and temperatures will be falling. In fact, by noon, we're already about 43 to 54 degrees after we have highs of 59 to 64 very early. When the kids go home from school, temperatures will likely be upper 30s here, and they'll be in the upper 40s here and kind of hovering around 45 at Greater Lafayette. And with a fairly brisk wind, your wind chills low to mid 30s. 32 on Sunday after 46, then falling into the 30s Saturday. Some rain showers, then a few snow showers. Lingering into Sunday. Breezy Monday, not bad. 44 Tuesday, 45 Wednesday. A few showers late in the day, late afternoon is what I'm thinking. And then we see a scattering of rain and snow showers on Thursday. And then after that, we've got another clipper that comes in. And there'll be just some scattered snow showers around from Friday into Saturday. And then after that, we will have to watch not only the cold, but that storm coming out of Texas that could bring impactful snowfall.